So, hi everyone. My name is Kiani. Um, I'm. I want to talk about some things that relate to being in a toxic relationship and what a toxic person actually really means, and why I have so much respect for a toxic person. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying the behaviors of that person is acceptable. I'm not condoning any behaviors either. But what I'm saying is, what does toxic mean? What is a toxic person? Well, a toxic person is anyone who anyone whose behavior adds negativity and upset to your life. Many times, people who are toxic are dealing with their own stresses and traumas. You always have to defend yourself to this person. You never feel fully comfortable around them. You continuously feel bad about yourself in their presence. Now, what causes toxic behavior? Just behaviors in general, dealing with a toxic person? Well, people often engage in toxic behaviors when they are coping with some underlying problems, such as a history of trauma, unhealthy relationships, or addictions. Control is actually the most dangerous trait of a toxic person. And it's a very serious thing. We have to understand the underlying cause of why a toxic person becomes a toxic person. Anybody can be a toxic person. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, brother, sister, grandmother, mother, father. Anybody can become a toxic person. A toxic person is not born toxic. A toxic person is conditioned to be that way. A toxic person is someone who went through so much trauma in their lives that they suppressed the pain and the hurt, and they pushed it so far down that they managed to block it, which leaves them with not being able to show emotions towards people that are genuinely trying to love them and show them how much that they mean to them. And I respect this type of person because this type of person does not realize the amount of strength that they actually have. They don't know how strong they actually are. And this is why I respect them so much, because they go through so much pain, they have so much hurt, and just the fact that they're able to push it so far down and block it and not be able to show emotions and still get up every day and maneuver like as if nothing is wrong, that's strength. That's strength. That's a horrible thing, though. It's a horrible thing. It baffles me that they can do this. And what's even more crazy is it's so simple as to how they can actually change this. The formula is so simple. Changing toxic behaviors is a matter of dealing with the problem, dealing with the fear, dealing with the vulnerability of opening up, expressing how they feel, and just basically pretty much understanding that they matter. They are not the person that they behave as. It's all a facade. It's all a mask that they put on. And the crazy part is, when I say, can a person change? Yes, absolutely. A toxic person can change. Once they see their part in the problem, they will be likely to have the motivation to change. But this is why when two people get into a relationship that becomes toxic, first of all, you can direct the toxic trait on any anyone in the relationship, whether it be male or female. There's always going to be one pointing the finger like they're not toxic. Because if you believe that you got into a relationship with a toxic person and you believe yourself that you are not toxic too, something is completely wrong. That's the whole problem right there. And the relationship will not prosper. Yes, you will have good times, but the relationship itself will suffer. You will continue to go through bad times over and over. You will continue to feel unfulfilled. And this is why unconditional love is so important. People get this twisted, like the world just has it all wrong when it comes to unconditional love. Just because you love somebody or you display these unconditional loves to somebody, that does not mean that that person that you're trying to give it to receives it. It depends on that mental state of that person, the emotional state of that person, and the physical state of that person. If a person is already toxic and they're already dealing with traumas and you're trying to show them that you love them, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because they don't see anything wrong in what they're doing. They don't see the problem. The problem is you. That's the problem. They see you as the problem. They see you as the weak one. When in all actuality, you are the strong one if you're not that toxic like they are, because there are levels to it. But you are actually the strong one. And most of the times, it's the female that actually is the one that is not as toxic as the male. And this is why when the relationship is done and the female finally ups and leaves, but dealt with the situation, dealt with this person for years after years after years after years, and put up with so much mental abuse and emotional abuse, physical abuse, whatever it is, it's not love. There is no love built on that relationship, from that relationship, whatever you want to call it. That is not love. That's called addiction. That's called codependency. That's called attachment. That's all it is. It's not love. And 9 out of 10 times, whoever it is that's the least toxic person, and I hate to use that in that form,